Welcome to Seraphim Serbia's channel. This is why you need sanding paper. Sanding paper is a DIY superstar. It's simple but powerful. This tool can transform rough surfaces into smooth ones. It can make old things look new again. Sanding paper is used in many projects. It's a must-have for both pros and hobbyists. Think of sanding paper as magic for surfaces. It can remove paint, rust, and rough spots. It can prepare wood for staining or painting. Sanding paper can even polish metal to a shine. It's versatile and easy to use. That's why it's so popular in workshops and homes. Sanding paper comes in many forms. There are sheets, rolls, and discs. Some fit on power tools, others are used by hand. Let's get started on your sanding journey. Sanding paper comes in many types. The main difference is the grit. Grit means how rough the paper is. It's measured in numbers. Lower numbers are rougher. Higher numbers are smoother. Knowing about grits helps you choose the right paper. The most common grits are coarse, medium, fine, and extra fine. Coarse grits are 40 to 80. Medium grits are 100 to 150. Fine grits are 180 to 220. Extra fine grits are 320 and up. Each grit has a special job. Using the wrong grit can damage your project. Besides grit, there are different types of sanding paper. Some are made for wood, others work best on metal or plastic. There's even waterproof sanding paper. Knowing the material you're working with helps you pick the right type. Choose the form that fits your project and tools. Coarse grit sanding paper is tough stuff. It's for big jobs. Think of it as the heavyweight champion of sanding. It removes material fast. This makes it perfect for rough surfaces. Use it when you need to make big changes quickly. When should you use coarse grit? It's great for stripping paint or varnish. It can remove rust from metal. If you have deep scratches in wood, coarse grit can help. It's also good for shaping wood. But be careful. Coarse grit can leave deep scratches. Always follow up with finer grits. Using coarse grit takes some skill. Don't press too hard, let the paper do the work. Move in the direction of the wood grain. This helps avoid scratches. Check your progress often. It's easy to sand too much with coarse grit. Remember, you can always sand more, but you can't unsand. Medium grit sanding paper is super useful. It's like the Swiss Army knife of sanding, not too rough, not too smooth. It's just right for many jobs. This makes it a favorite for DIYers and pros alike. Keep plenty of medium grit paper on hand. What can you do with medium grit? It's great for general smoothing. Use it after coarse grit to remove scratches. It can prep surfaces for painting or staining. Medium grit works well on wood, metal, and plastic. It's also good for between coat sanding on painted surfaces. This helps the next coat stick better. Using medium grit is easier than coarse grit. You don't need to be as careful, but still use even pressure. Sand in the direction of the wood grain. This gives the best finish. Medium grit is forgiving. It's harder to make mistakes. This makes it great for beginners. Medium grit is a must-have in your toolkit. Fine and extra fine grits are the finishing touches. They're like the polishing cloth for your project. Fine grit smooths out tiny scratches. Extra fine grit makes surfaces silky smooth. These grits are key for a professional-looking finish. They turn good work into great work. When do you use fine grit? It's perfect after medium grit sanding. Use it to prep wood for staining. It's great for smoothing painted surfaces. Fine grit can also buff out small scratches in metal. For wood projects, 220 grit is a popular choice. It leaves a smooth surface ready for finishing. Extra fine grit is for the finest work. Use it between coats of finish. It helps each coat bond better. It's also great for final smoothing. Extra fine grit can make wood feel like silk. It's perfect for furniture and musical instruments. For metal, it can create a mirror-like shine. Using fine and extra fine grits takes a light touch. Don't press hard. Let the paper do the work. Sanding paper is useful everywhere. At home, it's great for DIY projects. You can refinish furniture or prep walls for painting. Even small repairs often need sanding. Keep a variety of grits on hand. You'll be ready for any project. At work, sanding paper is a pro's best friend. It's used in construction, woodworking, and more. In professional settings, power tools are common. These make sanding faster and easier, but hand sanding is still important. It gives more control for detailed work. Pros often use a mix of power and hand sanding. This gives the best results. They also use specialized sanding papers. These are designed for specific materials or finishes. Storing sanding paper right is important. Keep it flat and dry. Moisture can ruin sanding paper. Some people hang sheets on hooks, others store them in drawers. For power sander discs, special storage racks work well. Label your storage clearly. This makes finding the right grit easy.